Dorian had a thought that he wanted to put out here for us. D, what's the thought that you want to put out there for us?
My question is, and this is because I was watching the other day. Is the transfer portal ruining college basketball? And has the NCAA officially become a semi-pro league? You've got it was something, I forgot what game I was watching the other day. I think Dan Dockage might have been doing the game, I think, or something. And he made the comment about how they now have to have someone, that all of these schools now have to hire somebody specifically to deal with the transfer portal. So they've now kind of dedicated, it's almost like, your whole scouting thing or whatever, where you now have a whole new area of scouting basically dedicated to seeing who's going to come out the portal and so on and so forth. So I wonder if we're going to start ending up with tampering at the collegiate level and so on and so forth, right? If we're going to deal with, that kind of thing. But now what has happened too is that this NIL money, so now it's almost like you can transfer to another school to make more money. Right? This is the same thing. This is the same thing that we see happening in the NFL, in the NBA, and in Major League Baseball and hockey, where players change teams to basically to make more money and so on and so forth. So you just think about the fact that now, because when we were coming up, remember, if you transferred, you have to sit out a year. Now you don't have to do that. So now these kids can transfer wherever they want to. However many, I don't know if it's probably a limit on how many times you can transfer. I ain't gonna even lie about that one. I know about that. But it's just got to the point now where now you're seeing these kids who are changing teams more often than not. And then going from Division I straight to another Division I school. It's just again,
it's free agency in college sports. Say what it is. There is free agency now in college sports.
Exactly. So that's my question is: have we gotten to the point where, even though we said this some years ago, all right, even though people like Jay Billis and people have said this some years ago, but have we now really gotten to this point where college sports is no longer, well, I shouldn't say just college sports in general, but the big name sports are no longer amateurism. That you really officially can no longer stamp these sports, football, basketball, so on and so forth, with this idea of amateurism.
So as far as the transfer portal, in my opinion, the transfer portal is a little much. It's a little too much, really, because, like you said, D, you can leave one school today, and then I'm playing with another school next year, right? So it's a little much, because there's really no penalty. When you had the deterrent of if you transfer, there's nothing wrong with transferring. You can always transfer, but when you had the deterrent of if you transfer, you got to sit out that 1 year. You didn't have as much transferring going on, but now, I mean, it's the wild, wild west. You talking about, will there be tampering? There is tampering, right? The coaches, they won't talk to them directly, but they'll have all these boosters that these universities have. The boosters are the ones talking to the kids now to say, hey, listen, we have this NIL money at the University of I don't care. And they're gonna give you, 10 times what you're making right now. And again, which is great for the athletes. The fact that they're able to do this is absolutely wonderful for them. However, to still consider the NCAA amateur, that's just, you're just lying to yourself if that's what you think it is. And there's nothing really wrong with it. I don't mind that one bit for these kids to go out there and be able to create money for themselves off of a talent that they have. I don't have any problem with that, right? But you do have these, the older, and I guess older than me.
What?
Shut up. older fans that can't get used to the actual athlete being able to dictate what it is that they want to do with their careers, right? So, like I said, is it officially semi-pro? Yep. But the problem is, it's been semi-pro for a long time. They just weren't getting paid.
Yeah, the kids are just now getting a piece of the pie.
Get paid.
I just want to say the O'Bannon brothers really need to get more credit for where we've gone with what we're talking about, the NIL and everything else. Remember, this is like you said, Rodney, we're older, and this has been going on for over 30 years. We're talking about the O'Bannon brothers back from UCLA that brought this all to fruition, and here they are now. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look back at that. You were talking about we old. No, we're not old. That's just how long it's been to where now this generation, these kids are being able to, like you said, reap the benefits of their true talent. Like we talked about this in different sports around the spectrum, and we won't go over this a lot, but it's only in certain sports in college too, where kids, can't get money, be making money or go pro versus other sports. We won't mention hockey or tennis and things like that. But to the point being, the transfer portal or whatnot has opened up the door. Yeah, it's free agency. And we all know the NCAA is, what do we like to call it, Dorian? The minor leagues for all sports across the board. So, we know it's pro.
Okay, so I agree about kids being able to make money.
I know where you're about to go with it.
As far as again, shout out to to University of Illinois. Shout out to Dana and Kevin Hardy and Simeon and all them cats that I hung out with in college. And I remember them days of walking past places we got to go ante up $20 amongst the 4 or 5 of us or whatever to get a pizza or whatever, and then we walk past the store and they selling Dana's jersey for $55 with his name on the back, right? He's not making any money off of that. Kevin, Simeon, all of them. Shout out the squad, from Illinois or whatever. However, this transfer thing for me takes away the whole thing about college. And with that's one of the things that I always took away that I thought was better about college sports than about pro sports or whatever. Is that in pro sports, what we tend to do is we follow players, right? So, again, anybody that's a LeBron fan, Almonte Shields, they're gonna be fans of 5 different teams. The Lakers, the Heat, Cleveland, and then Cleveland again, that kind of thing. But with college, it's not like that. You are a fan of your college because you went there, we stayed and graduated, so on and so forth for however long. Now it's getting to the point where you can't even recognize the players on your team